Welcome ladies and gentlemen, I am Subayal and in this video we will analyze the Visa stock which trades under the ticker symbol V. So first we will provide an overview of Visa's business and we will also cover the major news. Afterwards we will analyze the Visa stock in 3 steps. In the first step we will evaluate it via 14 dimensions of value-centric investment feasibility to gauge its viability as a long-term value investment. Later, if our dimensional analysis validates its feasibility as a good investment, we will proceed to the second step and look at the current state of the market through the lens of 6 critical dimensions to gauge if it is the right time to accumulate Visa stock or shall we wait for the market to offer it to us for a cheaper price. In the end, we will calculate the intrinsic value of the Visa stock with 2 different values of margin of safety. This is important since we don't want to pay more for the value that we will get because of purchasing the Visa stock. Therefore, in this 10 to 15 minutes value-packed video, we will try to cover every aspect of Visa stock from a value-centric investment perspective. So let me add one more important piece of information here. Visa is a dividend paying stock and the most recent dividend date was 10th of November 2021. The dividend per share is $0.38 and dividend yield is 0.64%, while the payout ratio is 22.54%. And now let's have a look at Visa. What does it do? So Visa Inc. is the world's leader in digital payments. Their mission is to connect the world through the most innovative, reliable and secure payment network, enabling individuals, businesses and economies to thrive. Their advanced global processing network VisaNet provides secure and reliable payments around the world and is capable of handling more than 65,000 messages a second. The company's relentless focus on innovation is a catalyst for the rapid growth of digital commerce on any device for everyone, everywhere. And based on 13 Wall Street analysts offering 12-month price targets for Visa in the last 3 months, the average price target is $273.46 with a high forecast of $305 and a low forecast of $240. The average price target represents a 25.56% change from the last price of $217.80. And now let's have a look at some of the major developments and news. The first major news are the launch of crypto consulting services. The move marks Visa's latest attempt to push deeper into the crypto industry. From October 1, 2020 to September 30, 2021, the company processed 3.5 billion in digital currency transactions through its crypto-linked card schemes, according to Nicola Places, Visa's European crypto lead. Some of these leading exchanges have millions or in some instances tens of millions of users, Places told CNBC, adding that the company allows users to spend their crypto at over 80 million merchants. The company is also developing products geared towards stablecoins, which are virtual tokens tied to the value of sovereign currencies, typically the US dollar, and the central bank issued digital currencies. Also, the acquisition of Currency Cloud has been completed by Visa, which is a huge milestone. The acquisition will empower Visa and Currency Cloud clients and partners to provide greater transparency, flexibility, and control for consumers and businesses when making international payments or doing businesses in multiple currencies. The acquisition builds on an existing strategic partnership between Currency Cloud and Visa. Currency Cloud's cloud-based platform already supports over 500 banking and technology clients with reach in over 180 countries and will continue to serve and support its customers and partners across the industry. Another great news for investors are that Visa has approved 12 billion US dollars worth of share repurchase program. The company had earlier announced a 4.7 billion stock buyback plan, out of which around 3.5 billion has been utilized. This makes total funds of 13.2 billion available for further share repurchases. Now, before I start the value-centric dimensional analysis, for those of you who are new to this channel, I am Dr. Subayal Khan and my goal on this channel is to help you in making your money work harder, smarter, and in long term. So if this is something which you are interested in, please leave a like to bless the YouTube algorithm and consider subscribing. The purpose of this video is to provide you with an unbiased analysis of Visa stock, which will help you in doing your own research and save you many hours of your time, and time, as we know, is the most valuable resource. Now let's analyze the Visa stock through 14 value-centric dimensions to evaluate its feasibility as a long-term value investment. We will look at the key numbers, growth rates, and ratios. Our goal is to see if we can get a score of over 75% over the time frames of 3, 5 or 10 years. We are essentially trying to seek answer to the question how well our analysis converges to the same conclusion as the analysts who have given it a strong buy rating on TipRanks. But the hedge fund managers seem to be in no rush and are not increasing their holdings of Visa stock. So let's see to which direction the compass of our dimensional analysis points us to. Now let's go ahead and first analyze the Visa stock via the 14 dimensions of value-centric investment feasibility. So looking at the key top level numbers, the current price of the Visa stock is around $201 US. The market cap is $440 billion US. The PE ratio over the trailing 12 months is 35.7. The PEG ratio over the trailing 12 months is 2.2. The earning per share over the trailing 12 months is 5.63. The current price to book ratio is 11.7. The current price to sales ratio is 18.2. And the current price to free cash flow ratio is 33.5. And the important growth rates over the past 3 years are as follows. The average revenue growth and average asset growth both were 6%. The average equity growth was 3%. The average net income growth has been 20% and the average liability growth has been 9%. And here are the key growth rates over the past 5 years. The average revenue growth has been 10%. The average asset growth has been 17%. The average net income growth has been 13% and average liability growth has been 53%. And here are the key growth rates over the past 10 years. The average revenue growth rate was 10%. The average asset growth rate was 10%. The average equity growth was 3%, the average net income growth was 19%, and the average liability growth has been 27%. So now let's have a look at the actual growth in revenue and net income. So the total revenue grew from $8 billion US to $22 billion US from 2010 to 2020, and from 2015 to 2020 it grew from $14 billion US to $22 billion US. Also, as we can see, the net income grew from $3 billion US to $11 billion US from 2010 to 2020, and from 2015 to 2020 it grew from $6 billion US to $11 billion US. And the total free cash flow increased from $2 billion US in 2010 to $10 billion US in 2020, and it grew from $6 to $10 billion US from 2015 to 2020. And now let's see if Visa can pay its long-term liabilities with the cumulative free cash flow from the past 5 years. So ideally, we will like to see this graph below 1. However, from 2016 to 2020, meaning the last 5 years, the graph has always remained below 1.5 and very close to 1. Due to rapidly evolving nature of the market and the size of the Visa as a company, we believe that the graph shows the financial strength of Visa and its recent acquisition and its drive to create an impact in the blockchain space. I believe it is not far that these steps will generate enough cash flow that the graph will go below 1. And now we look at the average minimum and maximum ROE and ROIC over the past 5 years, shown by the graph in the middle. We can see that the maximum ROE of 35% was recorded in 2019 and minimum ROE of 19% was recorded in 2016. And during the past 5 years, the average ROE has been 27%, which is great for a company of this size. Also, we can see that the maximum ROIC of 24% was recorded in 2019 and minimum ROE of 13% was recorded in 2017. And during the last 5 years, the average ROIC has been 15%, which is satisfactory for a company of this size. And we have also mentioned these numbers for the last 10 years on the left and the last 3 years on the right. Now we look at the diluted shares outstanding over the past 10 years. So the total shares outstanding have decreased from 3 billion to 2 billion during the past 10 years. The maximum shares outstanding were recorded in 2010, which were 3 billion, and the minimum shares outstanding were recorded in 2020, that were 2 billion. It means that with these buybacks, as the shares are removed from the market, the shares increase in value since the ownership which each share represents in the company is increasing with time. And as far as the average PE ratio over the past 5 years is concerned, we can see that it remained between 25 and 40 during the past 5 years, which means that Visa stock has been mostly overvalued during the past years. I personally aim for PE ratio of under 15 for such established companies, since established companies of this size tend to grow slowly. We will look at the exact range of PE ratios during the past 3 years in the second part of the video. Also, we want the total assets of a firm to be greater than total liabilities, and as we can see, the total assets have always been greater than total liabilities in the past 10 years, past 5 years, and past 3 years, which is excellent. Now let's have a look at the overall score of the 14 value-centric dimensions over the last 10 years, over the last 5 years, and the last 3 years. These scores show the feasibility of Visa stock as a long-term value investment over different time frames from a quantitative perspective. Feel free to pause the video if you want to look at each one of the dimensions and the result of it in a certain time frame. So we get an average score of 86%, 79%, and 64% over the past 10, 5, and 3 years respectively. So we get an average feasibility score of 76.33, which is excellent since the dimensions together act as a strict filtration criterion, as we can see by the thresholds of values we considered for each dimension. In most cases, we aim for an average score of 75% or higher for all these 3 time frames. But I must make it clear that it is just the first step to know the quality of the investment, and we need to compute the intrinsic value and only buy the stock when it is trading well below the price when we have factored in our margin of safety. So stay tuned. And now is the time to proceed to the second step, where we will look at the market state via 6 key dimensions to see if it is the right time to buy or shall we wait. These 6 key dimensions are hedge fund activity, insiders activity, overall perception of investors, news sentiment, past price action, and PE ratio range. So let's go ahead. So let's look at what the smart money thinks, meaning the hedge fund activity. So looking at the hedge fund activity, we see that the hedge funds are not accumulating Visa stock and are also not selling. It means that they trust Visa management and strong fundamentals, but are potentially waiting for the price to drop well below the intrinsic value by considering margin of safety. This will be confirmed in the third and last step of our analysis. There has been minor accumulation around May 2020 and July 2021. And now let's have a look at the overall perception of investors. We must be more cautious here, since the common opinion that represents retail investors is not right most of the times, since it is mostly driven by news sentiment. In case of Visa, there has been an average increase of 0.4% in the holding size of Visa stock in the past 30 days, and it decreased by 0.7% in the last 7 days. And as far as the insiders activity is concerned, there is no trend towards the sell or the buy side, and the buy and sell transactions seem to balance out each other. Hence, this does not provide us with any clue that will help us in our investment decisions. And as far as the news sentiment is concerned, the coverage of Visa in the media has been substantial, and during the past week, a whooping 100% articles have been bullish against the sector average of 62%. This is due to the current acquisition and also the motivation of Visa management to embrace the blockchain technology. But this also shows that Visa stock is very overhyped. And as far as the price chart is concerned, we can see that the Visa stock price went from $180 to over $240 from February 2021 to around last week of July 2021, and it then went on a steady decline till December 2021 and reached where it started the uptrend, meaning around $180. Since then, the stock price has been on a short uptrend and has reached $217 currently. The PE ratio range has been significantly above our threshold of 20 since 2019. And we never saw the price going down to a level which would bring it under the feasible threshold of 20, and it has been the case during the past 3 years. So I will wait and start accumulating when the price goes down enough that the PE ratio of 20 is achieved, and Visa stock is also well below its intrinsic value, which we will compute next. So this is the third and last step, where we will compute the intrinsic value of Visa stock, and this step is critically important. With the margin of safety of 25% applied to the growth rate obtained by Yahoo Finance and the discount rates and growth decline rates of 12% and 5% respectively due to ongoing inflation, we arrive at an intrinsic value of $159.90. And when we select our margin of safety as 20% while keeping all the other numbers the same, we arrive at an intrinsic value of $169. This means that the hedge fund managers are wise and not buying since the Visa stock is overvalued, even though it is an excellent investment. Therefore, I believe that Visa stock is an excellent long-term value investment, and I will wait for the market to offer it to me at a price that is below its intrinsic value, The hedge fund managers seem to agree with me, whereas the analysts think that it is a strong buy at the current price. Please let me know in the comments below. Do you think that Visa stock is a good long-term value investment or not? Also, would you buy the Visa stock at current price or not? I hope that you liked the content of this video. If you would like to see such videos with my unbiased opinion and my own unique style of analyzing stocks, please drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.